So yesterday we got an in-depth look at the Switch 2 that included games in development, launch games, and features of the console. I thought overall the presentation was really solid except for a few head-scratchers like a paid pack-in game, and the price of games being $80 for digital and $90 for physical. That is outrageous. As well as the system being able to play current-gen games, but doesn't have the storage to actually store very many games at 256 gigabytes. Everything around the system just screams we want to nickel and dime you in every aspect of the Switch 2. Enough about the Switch 2, we got a pleasant surprise, and that was a Bloodborne-inspired multiplayer Souls game called The Duskbloods. It's exclusive to the Switch 2 and is coming out in 2026. But I got to thinking with this multiplayer-focused game, and Elden Ring Night Rain, should I as a Souls and FromSoftware stan be concerned for the future of Souls games? I say that because it's starting to become a pattern with From Software, and they're starting to water down the formula and chase trends to garner a wider audience. Now, the Duskbloods could still be fantastic, and I'm excited to explore and be in that world. But with it being multiplayer, is it going to have the same attention to detail like with what we had with their previous games? Elden Ring opened Pandora's box for From Software and opened their eyes to that wider audience that game catered to, but it did in fact leave me with concerns because of things like summons and the amount of reused boss encounters all over the map. It went in a direction that I felt was unnecessary and takes away from the linear Souls games that I love, like Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, and Sekiro. Games that had a distinct vision and didn't try to pander to an audience that didn't like Souls games like Elden Ring does. People in the main game of Elden Ring can mostly rely on summons and play the game in a way that takes the pressure off the player, defeating the entire purpose of what Souls games used to be. Now, of course, you cannot use them, but the game is designed for summons, so it's incredibly difficult to not eventually use one, and that takes away the satisfaction of beating a boss by yourself. This brings me to Night Rain, which adds in Battle Royale elements and recycles Elden Ring into a multiplayer Rouge Light game with pre-made characters. Part of Souls' DNA is having your own character, and Night Rain and the Duskbloods strip away all of that for pre-made character classes with different abilities. A character class in the Duskbloods had a damn jetpack, which takes away the immersiveness of having to scratch and claw your way through a nightmarish world. I guarantee Duskbloods won't have a single-player option and will be always online, which is not the direction I want for the series. Also making it exclusive? What are we in 2015 with Bloodborne locked to the PS4 because that worked out so well that fans have been begging for a PC port and remaster of that, and instead we get two online titles that completely go against what the series is. They might look like Souls games and have aspects of them, but they are not Souls games. The Duskbloods is a PvPvE game with 8 other players with pre-made classes and abilities, one of which had guns. This is incredibly concerning, and I hope this isn't indicative of a long-term trend for the studio. Night Rain, I'm still cautious over, but it's very much a spin-off. Elden Ring game, The Duskbloods, is a new IP that is a drastic departure from what makes Souls games fun, if you can even call the Duskbloods that. Aesthetics aside, we have to objectively look at the Duskbloods and Night Rain, ask ourselves, is this what we want from Miyazaki? Let me know your thoughts on the Duskbloods and Night Rain below, and if you think this is an indication of things to come, or am I just blowing out a lot of hot air? If you like this video, subscribe and have a good one.